So this meeting, this presentation or this particular workshop, I can assure you that it's going to be fun. It's going to be great because whatever workshop I do, I just make sure end of the day you get a practical benefit of the workshop. I don't want to be more theoretical because after all, I was a student once. I came from your wherever your perspective were. So I know what are the things I understood, I loved when I attended a workshop or not. So today's session is going to be incredibly practical and it will be very helpful. Sometimes Anganga, I'll also add some Tamil words as well so that we can have a good conversation in each of us. So basically, I'll just give it a start of the meeting. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. 1 minute. So. Okay. Got it. All right, cool. So is the screen visible? Can anyone answer?
Yes, yes, Payas.
Oh, great. So I hope the screen is visible now. Cool. 1 minute. Is the presentation visible, sir? Now is the presentation visible?
Yes, it is.
Oh, great. Thank you for the. All right, guys. So basically, a little bit introduction about me. So I run two companies, particularly one is a software solutions company called Velozity Global Solutions. Another one is it's a tech based platform called Study Monk, which has been going for quite a long time. It's been more than 3 years. Right now, why I'm in a state to give you a guidance is means because I have went through this entrepreneurship journey for a quite very long time, more than like 4 or 5 years. But you have to understand one thing before that is whatever people tell you, it doesn't matter whoever they are, like wherever they are, doesn't matter that you have to take in. You have to make sure it aligns with your core values. Okay, like we can't just accept anything blindly. So if you be on that way, you have to think for yourself. Don't accept whatever people say. Don't accept anything blindly. Make sure you understand, you go through it, you do your own research, and then finally come up with an idea or a solution for them. So before kicking off, I just want to tell you those because all of us has different perspectives. All of us are from different environment, different methods. We all have different adaptations with whatever we have come up with. So each of us has their own creativity, their own lifestyle, so and so. So I don't want to be more generic here on whatever terms we discuss. So let's start this over. Um, can anyone of the student tell me, is the agenda readable? Anyone of from the students? Can they mute, sir? Unmute? Do they have the option to unmute? Guys? One. Am I audible? Am I audible, people?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Who's it? Guys, yeah. Atigiri Arulan. Is the screen visible? Is the agenda visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Just a minute. All right. Hey guys, I guess I'm visible and audible. I don't want to have any kind of technical issues. That's why I just checked with my Wi-Fi. Cool. So this presentation, we are particularly dealing with problem solving and ideation. Okay, what is problem solving? So before entering into that, the main agenda of this meeting is what you guys going to understand is what is problem solving, the 5 major steps to solve any problem. It could be any problem, it could be literally anything. Ideation process, idea to reality, how to achieve your most ambitious goals in life. All right. Can you see the difference which the first topic and last topic, because we're starting with problem solving and we're speaking about how to achieve your most ambitious goals in life. It could be anything. You might want to be a billionaire, you might want to be a company's founder which has a huge market capital, or it could be even as little as you want to be the best captain of a team, or it could be anything, right? Why have I included this particular last option is I don't want this whole topic, problem solving and ideation, to just be in another workshop where you learn how to solve a problem and how to ideate. I want to also make you people understand in a way how to implement or impart that thing in your life. Okay, like how to implement this whole session, how to take it and use it in your everyday life, because that is what it will be a good application of whatever I tell you. That is a good use of time we both spend, right? So we'll move to the next one. The main idea is what is problem solving. So problem solving now, there are a lot of, see, don't think on problem solving means okay, there's a huge group of people who has a lot of problems we need to solve. If we solve that, we can start a company, we can provide a solution. Don't start in that way. Start as little as a problem which you face in an everyday basis. Let's say you woke up late in the morning, you missed your college bus, and you have to be there in your college, and it's your exam already. It's let's say it's a practical semester practical or something, and now you have got a problem. You're in a problem and you have to solve it. The moment you get a problem, almost all the people, it's because we have been trained and such. By evolution, humans have been trained to get scared, get feared. Okay, their heartbeat changes. These are like very minute process which happens in each and every human being when they get into a problem. The ability to think clearly gets more and more deteriorated depending on the variance of the problem or volume of the problem they face. So this particular thing, I'm going to speak in terms of very real life practical situation based of problems, because that's where it starts. Not problems are a lot of types of problems are there, but still a problem is still a problem, right? So you might have a different approach to solve a problem. Each and everyone might have a different one. Even some people doesn't even care and go for next solution, what's next. So basically this whole idea is to understand a process. If you see this image in here, it says problem solving skills, analyzing the problem, planning the problem, executing. There's a lot of stuff. Okay, but this is all book. Okay, this is all like academic stuff. Don't forget this. Forget this entire image. We are not going to speak about this. This is like kind of too much boring. Okay, what we're going to speak is the actual problem.
My voice is not clear.
My voice is not audible. 1 minute. Is it fine now? Is my voice clear now? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Great. So now we are going to jump into the actual process of problem solving. All right. So what are the steps you have to take when you have to solve a problem is, first you have to observe. The first thing you need to do is to observe the problem. Second thing you need to do is what are the various pathways you have in front of you to solve a particular problem. Okay. Before getting into the next step, I'm going to jump you people into a little slide in here, which actually tells you the complete understanding of a problem solving method. So they also call this design thinking. Okay, because basically a problem solving is you have to solve a problem so that you can able to find a solution. Okay, so there is this three things. Okay, just see it as a three different buckets. On the left you have a problem, on the right you have your state of mind where it's solved, the problem is solved. Here is your state of mind where you have the problem, you feel it very suffocated and frustrated and stuff. In the middle is the solution part. This only when you reach the solution you can actually go to the third part, right? So this process has a set specific name. It's called design thinking. Okay, anywhere, any type of problem. It could be Google might be facing a problem. An algorithm is not searching or indexing the pages as much as before. They need to arrive at a solution. so that this problem will go away. So each and every problem has 3 states. Okay, this will be your main takeaway of this first 5 minutes of the meeting. First thing is the problem itself, the problem in itself, the thing which you observed as a problem. Second state is the solution where you arrive at. Third state is the post processing of the problem, which is after the problem has been ended or problem has been diffused, or you have solved the problem finally. So these are 3 states. Now, how you narrow it down is through this process called design thinking. Design thinking, it's nothing but basically practically how to think, how to be a practical thinker and solve the problem very easily. Because there might be some people who take a problem very complexly, try to think in a very complex manner, and try to come up with a solution in a very inefficient way. Okay, that's a different types of approach to solve the problem. If you guys have the CS background now, you might know what is the time complexity and all, what is the stuff, how many seconds it takes for the program to run, and how it can able to reach a solution, arrive a solution. The best thing people always go for is the one which you do it in a faster way, much faster way, efficient way, without using much dependencies. So how are we going to do this is, these are the stages I have. First one is empathize. Empathize means understanding you in your perspective. Let's say you have a problem, you tell it to me. Rather than me telling about my problems, you have to, what I have to do is I have to think on your terms. Let's say you have to build a solution for a particular farmers or agriculture people. Now, when it's a problem, you have to understand in their point of view. That is very important, because you as a student or as any professional or any person, you have your own history of biases. Biases means you have your own theories already in mind. You will have a specific set of ideas about farmers. This is how they are, this is how they do. But that does not gonna work. If you are going to stick with that, it's not gonna work. First thing is you have to empathize. And the outcome of empathizing some person is there'll be a lot of data points which you will be understand about the end user. Okay, so he is the end user means you'll be having a lot of ideas from their own point of view. Second one is you have to define the process, define the problems you have, list out all the issues they might be facing. Okay, and again, the outcome here is define your point of view, the complete problem statement which you have to define. That is the second one. Like there'll be the problem statements could be tens or hundreds of them, but what you have to do is you have to finally get to one single problem. Like for example, what is Amazon solving? They are like providing delivery of any products you want to order through online way. Simply, what is Paytm solving? What is Myntra solving? If you take any biggest companies, they have one specific niche, one single problem statement, and they have one solution for it. Because if you keep on lot of list of problems, that all will collapse and get you nowhere. Okay, so you have to stick to first one specific target niche problem, and then get to the next step, which is ideation. So ideate is where you have holistic solution, target relevant problem statement. What it means is, if I'm telling farmers it's very hard for a farmer to sell on a very high margin, because he sells to a wholesale dealer, and then the wholesale dealer sells to consumers or retailers, and then the retailer sells to the consumers. Here the problem is, based on my point of view, if what a farmer can give the products directly to the people, so that he can able to get all the margin in the middle, we can think that. But the holistic view means why he is not doing it. He might know it already. Why can't I directly sell to people now? Why should I go sell to some wholesale dealers? He might have a lot of issues. Maybe he doesn't have a brand, he doesn't have trust, people can't able to easily certify this particular guy. So that's why they're going to a particular solution, which is the dealers or retailers. So this is a different point of view based on after ideation. You have to ideate to get to this point of view. Fourth point is, once you ideate anything, you have to build a prototype, a very basic prototype, so that you don't waste a lot of time building the actual solution. Prototype is something which is built within 2 days or 3 days, however the complexity the problem might be. Okay, that is what I feel. Basically, any particular solution goes more than 3 days, it's not really a prototype. Okay, and then finally, once you have a prototype ready, you have to test it. You have to test it live with the people who's facing the problem, who you empathized with those people. So this is the stage. I want you people to take a note of this, because just forget all these images, forget all these outcomes and all. See, forget everything. Okay, these 5 things alone, if you do it on a stage by stage basis, whatever problem you want to solve, you will have a clear understanding on the user's perspective, like being in their shoes and solvangala, like that kind of idea. Like you have to be you have to be the end user to actually understand the problem. Like a lot of people say, like it's very easy to say, it's hard to do because I'm the one who have to do it. Same concept only. The person who's actually feeling the problem has the most ideas about that particular problem. Okay, this is the first step to solve the problem. This is the actual process. This is what I meant as the actual process. What you have to do next is you have to have something called call for action. So this is phase 1. What you have to do is you have to list all the stakeholders. Okay, I don't want to confuse you with a lot of terms, a lot of jargons. We'll get into what stakeholders are. Stakeholders means, let's take this, I have the solution, sample solution here. So what I'm taking is, first thing, I have to list the stakeholders. Stakeholders, let's take a problem here. The problem is, we are developing a platform for college students, an e-learning platform. Okay, you can learn any subjects. E-learning platform for college students. Okay, I hope this is visible. So what you have to do is you have to list all the stakeholders. Stakeholders means all the people who will get in touch in this particular process to get this whole process completed. Okay, simple. Let's say you get you subscribe for this milk packet every day. The guy who comes to your home and puts the milk packet to you, gives delivers it to your home. So the stakeholders in that particular problem is, it's you, your parents, this guy who is going to deliver the product, the guy who is running the company, and the guy who's where the milk product, the milk brand, where the milk is coming from. And particularly, I guess almost after, I don't think anymore, the transport system which he takes care of, which from how he comes, does he comes in any huge truck, or does he comes in a bike or scooter or anything. These are like external and internal stakeholders. So I'm thinking of a platform where an e-learning platform for all the college students. The stakeholders, what I think of is, it could be college, it could be teachers, it could be students, parents, students' friends, students' classmates, and students' friends from different colleges, right? HOD, campus ambassadors, principal, neighbor of parents, relatives, alumni. Okay, so guys, are we following? Are we following here? I hope so.
Yes, sir.
Great. So this is the very initial step, important step. Okay. Why I'm telling this as an important step? Because when you list this step, you will be getting a 30,000-foot idea of what we are trying to do here. Because end of the day, if you keep on going into targeting a specific problem, keep on thinking about it, it's not going to solve much easily. If you need to be more efficient, you have to follow this 5-step method, which is empathize, define, ideate, build something, test it out. This process comes before empathizing it. Okay, so this is where this particular thing called list all the stakeholders comes up. So you have to list all the stakeholders who will be a part of the problem. It could be very simple as, even see, I didn't even forget, like I didn't even leave neighbors of parents. I've added them as well, even as much as important as HOD or teachers or anyone. What you have to do next is, the next step is, you have to map these stakeholders. I have used this tool. You don't have to do it like this. All you have to do is just take a note and pen. I have did it, but it's kind of shabby. I don't want to share it with you. So this is how this second process will help you. It'll be more shabby when you do it in a pen and paper, because that's how it has to be. What you have to understand from it is, where is the lot of lines connecting to who? You have to find 3 stakeholders, 3 important stakeholders. So see, this student guy, I'm connecting his line to this line to, he might be transferring some information to student classmates. He might be speaking with campus ambassadors. He might be having communication with student friends, his teachers, obviously, his college, his parents. So a lot of lines will be going. I didn't complete it yet, but when you do it, you can see a lot of network appearing. Okay, this is the second step. This you can try for any problem. Even I told you a very practical problem. You missed your bus. You don't know what to do next. You put all the stakeholders there. There might be your parents. There might be a bus driver. There might be someone who you can take lift. There might be like a lot of approaches, right? A lot of different combinational methods could be, aspects would be in there. What I'm trying to say is, if you put all the communication between all these people, you'll be reaching at a top 3 stakeholders, like somewhere where a lot of network will be happening. See, teachers, a lot of network is happening. Students, a lot of network is happening. Again, parents, a lot of network is happening. So what you have to do is you have to filter out all these stakeholders and put top 3. So after stakeholder mapping, I'm putting students, I'm adding students, teachers, and parents. What is the next step is, now, see, we know this is a problem. There is not a proper e-learning platform. There are a lot of e-learning platforms out there. I'm just telling for an example's sake. All right, we are going to do an activity which is a real problem. I'll tell you, it's an interesting problem. I'll tell it later. We're all going to do it. Please take a note and pen with you. We might have to do it because it's kind of important for us to understand this whole concept. It's obviously this is the basic meaning of this entire meeting, right? So come back to the point. This is step 2. Okay. So I have mapped it. I have mapped it in this particular section. All you can just take a note and pen and just try to map it out. And then what you have to do is just paste out or identify the major stakeholders of the particular group. All right, that is very important part, because that's where your ideation process starts from. That's where your empathizing process starts from. So after finding your key stakeholders and extreme users, so these are the people who are key stakeholders and extreme users, right? After that, you have to do an interview with them. Like, guys, see, this could look like a long as process, but basically any problem which has to be solved, it can never be done you sitting on your own self or just discussing with your friends. It can never be done. And this process helps you kickstart the process because it gives you a motivation. It gives you an additional factor of understanding and giving your all in to this. It feels more like you're exploring the entire process. And after the state, you don't want to give it up. Even if things go wrong, even if things go south, you definitely want to solve the problem. That's the main goal you have, right? Like, you have a problem, you face a problem, you want to solve it, you need to scale it up so that a lot of people could able to use it and you build a company. This is a very basic, simple term. This is a one-liner, what I can say. Back to the point. After this is step 3. After identifying these people, what you have to do is you have to go interview them. You can take a survey. You can just go call them, ask them few questions. How this process works is, first you have to gather. Okay, you have to understand what are the types of questions you have to ask. You don't have to be more technical. You have to be, again, empathize them. Will they answer this? Will they answer this? For example, if you go to a class, okay, the class is teachers teaching in the class, and you go ask students, student, is this class good for you? Obviously, they all will say good because teacher is present in the class. So you have to empathize student, think in their perspective, ask in such a way such that they will be more honest with their answers. They won't be biased depending on the situation. Okay. So second thing you have to do is storytelling questions and exploratory questions. What storytelling questions means is, just now I told you an example, right? You go to a class and then teacher was there. That is kind of a storytelling exemplar question. Okay. So student will get more understanding of the question we are trying to ask. And then comes the exploratory question. Okay, so is there anything you feel can be done better? That gives them an open-ended question such that they will give you their own perspective. They might tell you something new which is you are missing for a very long time. Okay, what you have to do is, next thing, you have to categorize these questions into different views, different ideas and all, and then comes into a formal introduction. So this is how the process goes. If you go ask an interview, if you interview a person, you have to introduce yourself formally and then ask them few questions and then have those insights and then use all those to go to the next stage, which is, after the defining process, ideation process. This is where you have to ideate your entire product with your team. After doing this is the first step. Gather it, categorize it, do a formal introduction with them, ask the questions, use all the data you collected with them, scribe it, everything, and then put it on your data. Now, what you have to do is, with that data you have collected, you are going to build a prototype. Okay. So again, this is phase 2. This is phase 1, which we did, which is stakeholder mapping. We listed all the stakeholders depending on the problem, and then we mapped them completely. Wherever it's so meshy, the mesh is connected a lot of places, so shady. Use those are like key particular stakeholders. List them out in here. And after that, you have to prepare the group of questions you need to ask. So that comes there. and then comes the phase 2. Okay, this is interview. Now you're going to interview the person. So again, the same concept is just exaggerated for you to understand. You have to gather all the set of questions, categorize the questions into different people. There may be different age categories. There may be different people working in a different professionals. So what type of questions you can ask to this profession? What type of question you can ask to this person? There will be different people with different behaviors. If you take a parent, they'll have a different day-to-day activities. If you take a student, he'll have a different day-to-day activities. So depending on that, all these will be changing. Once categorizing the question, next thing you have to do is you have to look out for certain patterns and contradictions. What are few things which is going away from your solution? What are few things which is following a pattern? This is where you pivot the actual solution. You might have this as a solution, but after doing all this brainstorming activities, all this problem ideation activities, problem solving methods, which is design thinking basically, you might have to come to a conclusion. Okay, so you will be discovering a lot of connections. You will be also understanding a lot of unmet needs. What it means is a new way for you to increase your revenue. Okay, basically that's it. So this is where you synthesize your output much better before entering into prototype stage. So after doing that, you have to have one statement, which I told you, right? What is Amazon solving? What is AWS solving? What is Myntra solving? What is Swiggy solving? Basically, you as a user can tell in a single sentence. This is where you have to arrive at after doing all these steps. Right now we are like sitting in our home or college, we're just thinking, okay, this is the problem, this is the solution, okay, we'll start working. If you do all this as a homework, you don't even find it as a homework if you really love what you're trying to solve, right? Because that's how we started. When we started the study monk platform, we don't know what to do, what is the process, next step, what is the next step, what might student love. Instead of we sitting on ourselves, we went on speaking with a lot of people, we went on doing a lot of explorations, we went on having conversation with a lot of people from different demography of India. That was very interesting, and it didn't just stop there. We gained a lot of network. We understood a lot of people, how they work, how people understand each other, a lot of stuff. You explore a lot. Apart from whatever you learn here, you learn a hell lot in there, which might be useful in the future. So these are the three key elements at end of the day. One is users, who are the person you have to solve the problem. Second one is all the needs they need. And because means, okay, I'm using this because this is my problem. I'm using this solution because this is my problem. If you can able to find these three alone, you're already ahead of a lot of people who's trying to build a product. Because a lot of people, they're completely stuck on this particular phase where they don't know what to do next. They don't have this particular complete understanding of the product because they can't empathize enough. So going to the next one, it's called HMW framework. HMW, how might we? So there'll be this, what it means is, if you read this unsolved problem with multiple potential solutions needs to be solved as a team. Here we were speaking about e-learning platform for college student. We can also speak about how might we help students who are going for tuition centers. How might we help parents who's teaching tuitions from home? Like those how might be questions will give you a lot of questions. Okay, all those things are like one single factor for you to increase your revenue, indirect revenue streams for your company. Okay, end of the day, if you are speaking about company terms, that is that. But if you are speaking about solving a problem, obviously these solutions will easily solve your problem. This is like a very practical way to solve a dependent problem. If it's an independent problem, you can solve it by yourself. You don't need all these things to be done. If it's a dependent problem, you might need to understand few people. You have to do all this homework. It's what they call social engineering, right? Like you know certain person is the solution for a problem. You need to make them convince or make them understand this is the way you do it, and you do a homework about them, do all the strategies to actually get the idea to a reality stage. So cool guys. So this is the, if you're taking one takeaway from this particular section, these 5 things is very important, and the most important part is this defining session. Empathizing, we can empathize. Sometimes we mess up with empathizing stage, because if you're a student, if I'm a student, I can easily empathize because my product is student based. What if your product is something like biotechnology based? What if some product deals with some major solutions in space? What if you're trying to solve some astronomical problems? So that are those things are, you have to do a review with survey with a lot of people who has more experience in that particular area. You're an engineer, you want to solve some medical healthcare problem. How do you do that? You have to go speak with those people. Now this defining is important because this is what depends on prototype testing, all those things, all those metrics, all those vanity data, all depends on how you define the problem. All right. Cool. I'm going back to the, yeah, going back to the slide. This is how you take this idea to a reality. All right. Problems can be solved in a lot of different ways, guys. Like, end of the day, you need to feel the problem. If you don't feel the problem, you won't have the urge to stick with the problem, which obviously you will pivot to something else. Okay. If you really want to solve the problem, a lot of founders, if you see, a lot of companies, founders, successful people, they might have had the problem by themselves, because that's a starting point, that's an origin point. That's where they thought, okay, this is something which has not been solved in the industry yet. This is something which is very irritating for me. I need a solution for it. If there is no solution, why can't we build ourselves, right? So that's how a lot of companies started, and that's why, see, when people come to me telling about their ideas, and some people tell, bro, I don't want to share this idea with anyone, they might copy my idea and all, it's never gonna work. See, discuss your idea with as much people as possible. All right, because anyone who's copying your idea, it's never gonna work, because they won't have the conviction like you do, like the understanding or the power like you do. They're obviously gonna fail somewhere. So again, it again comes back to the point, never copy an idea. Like, copying an idea, see, if it's interesting, we can copy an idea. A lot of people are nowadays building restaurants. Okay, it's just the same idea only, but there'll be creativity process in there. We'll come to creativity point. Coming back, why I'm telling this is, don't be scared to share your idea to people. A lot of people will give you a lot of ideas, a lot of different solutions. See, he might even object your idea. He might tell, hey, இது already இருக்கிற அந்த app, இது வச்சு நீ என்ன பண்ண போற, like those kind of, a lot of people told me that. But if you feel the problem is still there, you might have already aware of the application, right? Why are you not aware? So ask yourself those questions. See what your competition, that's where the competition concept comes. That's where you understand them. That's where you start brewing the strategies to build your company. So this is how you change your idea to reality. Basically, you make sure you have the entire conviction to follow the idea, and then you empathize with the people. I'll show this again. First thing is empathizing. Second one is defining the thing, ideating, prototyping, and then finally comes the testing part. So next one is, importantly, when you start a company, when you try to solve a problem, you have to find the why. Find the why means, why am I doing this? What is the cause? What is the reason? It's very important, guys. You know why? Because when my friends ask me why I'm doing it, I tell them in such a way they want to join my company, like, because that's what inspiring, that's what motivating people, that will get you a lot of people. I'll if I got a place to go where I can go and hire people, hire talent, best talent, because only when you have best people in your team, you can grow faster. If I need best people, I have found this why so long back that I have built a lot of stories around it. And when I tell to people, they automatically get inspired and they want to work with us. Okay, so these are like key techniques or strategies which you have to keep in mind when you try to solve any solution, try to come up with a solution or something. All right. So yeah, we're online only. Cool. So again, action matters the most. I can sit at my home, I can keep thinking, keep drawing, keep scribbling, but it's never gonna happen. You have to decide next, what's next. You have to keep on acting on all the data you have, all the metrics you have, everything you have collected so far, so that only that could able to give you closer to the solution, closer to the reality. If you're not acting, even if you have all the interest, the motivation decides. Okay, it decides, and obviously you will give up the project. So don't do that. Always make sure to put on all the effort to activate the project. Okay, activate it even a bit. If you're interested to develop some solution, buy a domain in GoDaddy or something, just make it live, download some template, make the website live, share it with your friends, that action, it's a very simple action, guys. It won't cost you around 400-500 bucks. It won't take you more than a single day to do that. But that very little action will push you further to actually provide the solution. Okay, so those things is very important. And then environment is important. Whenever you try to solve a problem, you have to, again, I told you, right, you can't just sit on your home and do all this, do stuff to happen. You need to go to that particular place. If you're trying to solve healthcare issues, go to some hospitals. If you're trying to solve logistic based issues, go to some shipment or delivery supply chain management places. So it all depends. It all, again, it's a very generic term here. It all depends on what type of problem you solve. Okay, and this is the most interesting part I have, because I love speaking about creativity, because creativity is not something you have to bond with. All right, it's not. I feel each one of these, I'm not sure exactly how many people in this meet. What I feel is creativity is something which you can actually, it's a skill which you can improve. It's not something you need when you're a kid or something. Please don't think, if you're having that kind of concept, erase it from your mind. Creativity is something which you can build upon, okay, which you can actually like, build your skill. How to be creative? First thing, let's take an example of a piano player. Okay, he's a pianist. So this guy, what he does is, he starts learning piano. He starts learning piano from a very basic step to a very most complex pieces of music. Okay, so very basic music to complex level music, which is already there. So how do we learn music? I'm not sure how many people who have learned in musical instrument here, but if you noticed, everyone plays a song which is already there. They're not composing anything new in the initial days. Everyone tries with something which is already there, because that's a very basic behavior. That is where creativity comes in. Where, see, inspired music, amateur composers. Okay, if all the amateur means people who just starting off. All the people who just starting off, they will be trying to make music from the inspiration, not as a new one. Okay, see here, first thing, you have to learn the basic building blocks, the rules of the music, the rules of whatever you're trying to learn. If you want to be creative, you need to know the rules. You need to be, okay, this is what the boundary is, this is where the entire things happen, this is what the entire thing is. You can't go out of this. After learning the basics and the rules, second thing is copy other art bluntly. What it means is, bluntly try it. See, if you want to develop a website, don't try to sit and create something new. It'll take a long time for you to learn itself. See an example there, just try to copy whatever it is. That's how people sketched, right? That's how people try to draw. Understand, we were like, when we were kids, we are trying to, like, overdraw on a very specific lines, so that you after practice you get there. We forget that thing. We feel copying is a bad thing. Copying is not a bad thing. Copying is a bad when you show other art or other pieces of people's hard work as yours. That is bad. Copying is not bad. When you try to learn for yourself, it's not bad. You have to make sure you add a little about your own identity in that whatever you try to create. Third thing is, tweak a little on your own. Okay, this is where you have to add your favorite touch. If it's Abhishek's piece, what is Abhishek in that particular thing? What am I? What have I did? If it's yours, what have you did in there? You have to instill your identity in that, such that it's yours. Okay, that's how creativity creates. It will be generated, guys. I'm pretty paka sure about it, because that's how I make my entire team to be creative. We learn from inspirations, we grow from inspirations. Everything around you is not something which the founder guy or who invented has commercialized or put it in place. Just look at the things around you. All of those things are being copied, iterated after, and then understood and then built on top of it. So this is the element, and that little change which you do is, it's what creativity is. The creativity is basically comes from your environment, where you grew, how you brought up, and what are the things you saw as a kid when you grown. Those things only. It could be bad or it could be good, but those all adds to your creativity. All right. So we have a little activity here. All right, guys, are we ready for an activity? It's just going to take a 5-minute one. Just take a note and pen. I need everyone to take note and pen. I'm going to what we're going to do is we're going to do two things. One is stakeholder listing, and another one is stakeholder mapping. I'll repeat it again. Stakeholder listing, which I showed you here, you have to list. I'll tell you the problem right now. You have to list, take a note and then put points A, B, C, like this is this person, this person, this person, just like how it is here. Second one is stakeholder mapping, which is like this. Okay. Okay. Before that, the problem statement is it's a very interesting one because I tried to solve the problem, but I couldn't able to solve it. Let's see if one of you can able to do it because it's a really good problem, really good solution, which everyone needs it. Okay. Once after I tell you the problem, what you have to do is you have to take a note and pen, list the stakeholders, and then you have to map the stakeholders. Okay. The problem is, everyone hear out. There are in a class of 60 students, there are like around 10 to 15 students who's like topper people, like super topper. They learn every day. They work hard every day. They're really super disciplined people. There's another 10 people who's like enjoying life and all, but when it comes to exam time, they start to learn. There's this middle group of people where when they come to exam time, they start to learn. There's always a 10% of people who don't even care about exams and all. So this is the distribution, right? In any class, if you take 100 students, 15 to 20% will always be a topper people. 40 to 50% will be in an average, but they will put all the hard work in the last day of the exam. And there'll be last 10 to 15% of people who will be working hard when it's semesters. They don't care till the semesters come in. So the problem here is, what you have to do is you have to create a platform where this platform will be so super active on the times of exams. Okay, like so basically we already have this, but there is no platform. What happens is, I mean, you would have did this for yourself. Like let's say it's a maths exam and you don't know, you see this question is coming for this exam and you don't know about it. What you do is you go ask your friend, right? Who's a topper guy who's studying எங்கயாச்சும் ஒரு ஓரமா உட்கார்ந்து படிச்சிட்டு இருப்பான். அவங்க கிட்ட போயிட்டு மச்சான் இது மட்டும் சொல்றா எனக்கு புரியல. Like what you do is you just get a basic gist of it, learn it, you go put it out in the exam. This is an interesting problem because he might be busy. That guy who's studying might be busy. Someone who's studying might be busy. But the before day night, no, he might be also studying. He might be revising. What you should be doing is, this platform will be connecting people who wants to study in the last night of the exam with people who's already studied everything, who wants to revise. Okay, so this people will also have an incentive. Let's say I have finished studying. I just need to revise. I feel I will be revised good if I teach someone. And there's this guy who wants to be taught, who needs to be understood, who needs to be. This is like a very practical problem every college will have. Okay, so what you're trying to do is you're going to build a platform for this. Okay, now I hope the problem is understood. Is the problem understood, guys?
Yes, sir.
It's okay, cool.
Yeah,
It's a very classic problem. It's a very interesting problem because every college has this, and obviously I would term it as allocation problem. Basically, allocation problem means this has to be allocated to here. This person is allocated to this place. Basically, allocation problem where you have to allocate the person who needs to understand something with the person who wants to train, like who wants to revise something. So now your time starts now. I'm going to give you exactly like not more than 3 minutes. 3 minutes to start listing the persons. See, it could be first one, it could be the student. Student will be multiple categories. I'll give you a head start here. First one will be the topper person. Second one will be the average learner person. Third one will be even below average people. Fourth one will be the teacher who will be connecting those people. Fifth one will be any subject teachers. Sixth one will be any person who has this different tendency to have all the notes collected. So if you think more, you can get a lot of stakeholders. See, I have in my example, if you just see on a very basic terms, you won't think of neighbors of parents, relatives and all, alumni. This and all comes only after you keep on thinking the flow, how it works, how this person talks to him, how he teaches him, what is the thing he gets. You have to think on an entire cycle basis. Okay, now I'm going to start. Now the time is 3:22. Take time till 3:25. Okay, you have to come up with a list of stakeholders. All right. I'm going to ask 5 people, 5 of these audience, any 5. I'll pick randomly. So sorry about that because a lot of people are there. So 5 people out of all you people, I'm going to ask you stakeholders. If it's overlapping, we'll just overlap those. Okay. Any of you didn't get what I told you? Any of you have any questions for this activity? Guys, if you're fine now, you can already start. It's already time. List all the stakeholders. If anyone have doubt now, you can unmute and ask me the doubt. I guess everyone is clear. They're all listing the stakeholders. Let's see. You have to think in multiple aspects. How will you market this product? If you want to market this product, who will be there in the marketing channel? You have to think on multiple terms. Even you can add a lot of people in stakeholders. You can even add HODs. You can even add head of the subject. Or don't listen to me. I'll just keep on speaking. You just list out all the stakeholders, guys. It should be somewhat like this. Done? Anyone done? Okay. We have, yeah, it's 3:25 already. Guys, சத்தமே காணும். இதுல டெய்லி பண்றது தானே எக்ஸாம் டைம்ல. Okay, I'm gonna call out some person from randomly. Sriram, yes, 263. இந்த மீட்டிங் வந்து ஆயிடுச்சா? Sriram, you there? Hello.
Sir, can I?
Yes, Suraj, please go ahead.
So I have just get eight stakeholders.
Okay.
So first is toppers, and second is middle benchers, and third is last benchers, as well as fourth is a class in charge to monitor what's going on the forum, and then fifth is an tuition teachers or a subjects specific subject staffs. They may be might from a college or as well as an outside.
Okay.
So and then six is an internet sources that are also available on. So if you search for some topics, then you have get some internet sources like YouTube videos and websites like that. And then parents also available because they have to monitor what's going on like that. So they can parents also. So and then eighth is an public platform community sources like Instagram so communities and as well as Facebook communities like this. That's only so.
Great. Awesome, amazing work, Suraj. Awesome. Thank you for coming up ahead. Sriram there? Where is he? Did he leave the meeting? Oh, Kiran MP, you there? Hi, Kiran. Mohan J.
Yes, sir. Can I?
Yeah, please, Mohan, go ahead.
So this platform should contain around three people.
Okay.
So one is average student, another one is below average. So the topper will be what can I say? He would have read all the things, and he would not focus on others getting developed. So the average student, while teaching, in the meantime, he will also get help, like he would revise all the topics.
It's a
And
behavior pattern you're telling, but you have to confirm it after doing a survey. All right, but it's a good one. Got
Yeah.
it. That's it. This is what you have listed. Fine. Good. Maria, Robin, Andrew, you there? Sumitra K. Vimala Priya. They are leaving the meeting after I tell them. Anyone else? I need anyone else. Any one person here to tell me. Anyone who have listed it. Come on, guys. Unmute and tell. AISHEK. Aishek M. Arun Kumar, you there? Dilip G, Gokul, anyone, any volunteer can come ahead and tell me. Yoha Malar, Priyatashan. Come on, guys. I'm waiting for you. I'm not gonna move to the next step till you tell me. Okay, cool. So, all right, that's fine. Okay, but see, guys, don't any time if you get any opportunity, directly jump into it, even if you don't know anything, because it gives you a lot of advantage comparatively to the people who's quiet in the room. Okay, so I know you guys might be in first, second year or something, so it's fine. But from next time, always be more proactive because it pushes you a lot in your life. Believe me, I'm a very shy kid, but when I try to be more proactive in all the activities or anything, it always gave me a lot of resources and network, to build or to get more network, to get more network from them. Cool. So yeah, I guess Suraj and Mohan, you both actually gave me few answers. Cool. Now I can see an overlap between topper and below average, and I guess above average as well. So and teacher. So both of you had this overlapping. Apart from this, now the step 2 is what you have to do is just create. I guess even if everyone is doing it, just do this, guys. What you have to do is you have to put the name like middle bencher in there, and then put a circle around it. Front bencher or teacher, topper. So what you have to do is you have to put a circle, and then you have to go through each and every one. Does this guy communicate with this guy? Does this guy communicate with this guy? This guy communicate with this guy? So campus ambassador has no reason to communicate with his parents or relatives, right? So he never comes there. He never even comes to parents. He might not. So but he has all the other connections. Parents neighbor might never have to speak to students classmate or something, or parents neighbor never have to speak to teacher from different college. So these are like very little or low layered stakeholders. All right, so we need to find, the task is to find extreme stakeholders, like who are like high level stakeholders, high level performance stakeholders, who is very important for us to understand or go to the next step. This is your next task. You take 2 minutes you take 3 minutes of your time. Now 3:30, take time till 3:33, and you have to finish this particular task 3:33 p.m. so that you get a basic idea of how the stakeholder mapping works. This will be a very helpful tool when you start something which you don't even know, when you get a task, when you get very helpful in all the situations, guys. So I request everyone to do this. First step we have did already, stakeholder mapping, stakeholder listing. Now you are going to do a stakeholder mapping. You have to map all the transactions. Do you have any doubts? Do anyone have any doubts on that? How to do? I'll explain again, but if you're okay, if you already have the mind, have the idea, you start doing it. So what you have to do is you have to list out all the stakeholders in a circle. Okay, all the stakeholders in a circle, and then you have to connect them through these lines, very basic lines. See, the student will be having a conversation. Obviously, will be having a conversation with student classmate. Obviously, speaking with campus ambassador, student friends, teacher. He might also be speaking with parents. He might be having conversation with college directly, principal, everything, almost lot. So students is a very major stakeholder. Likewise, you have to find who are the top 3 stakeholders on your on this particular problem solving mission. Okay, that is very important. That is what I'm expecting from this stakeholder mapping. Take your time, take 3 minutes of your time. I'll be waiting. Yeah. All right. Okay, I guess your time is up. So you might have an understanding right now. So what is this stakeholders mapping, or how this whole stakeholder system work? I might have given you a dumb problem statement, which doesn't even exist in most cases, but this is the method. Okay, this is a process you have to follow to have a more, when people ask you what are you trying to solve, you have to have the ability to persuade them on exactly telling you what you're trying to solve. You don't get into a stuck, like a stage where you lie to yourself, like, oh, this is what I'm trying to solve. Cool. This is what I wanted to give you, particularly on this particular workshop, guys. I hope you got few ideas, takeaways. Particular takeaway would be these stuff, which is you have to empathize with the person, define the problem, ideate, prototype, and test. All right, and this is very important. You have to think about how might we take the solution, how might we get to the next step, those stuff. And these two concepts of stakeholder listing and mapping is as important as that, because only this, after you get this, you arrive the solution of arrive these three important people, where you do the interviews with them. Collect all these, record all those videos, collect all them, scribe it, have it. It'll be a fun work. It's like a work of your life. Okay, try something or not. Cool. Now this last thing where I'm going to end this meeting with is how to use all the things which I told you today, how to use it to achieve. You might have an ambitious goal. You might want to join Google. You might want to start a company which competes Google, which has more market capitalization than Apple, or it could be anything. But how can you achieve something with this very very basic stuff which I told you? There's a lot of possibilities. You know how? Because you as a student right now, you're coming out of college, you particularly deal a lot with people. Who's the biggest employer in India? Can anyone tell me? Who's the biggest employer? Which company employs a lot of people? Or not company. Who yeah,
In India, right, sir?
Yeah. I'm just asking generally.
In India, it will be Ratan Tata.
Yeah. That's a good answer. But more than companies, what employs a lot of people? It's actually, the answer is inefficiency. If there is any inefficiency in a system or a company which you can't automate, which you can't make it efficient, you put a person in there. That's where the job is created. That's the very basic perspective you have to have in mind. That's how people are getting paid. That's how they're trying to solve something which is not efficient by being present, being a person in there, making it efficient. If any person comes with a product, trying to solve it, trying to make it efficient by an automated structure, simply all their life work or all their job will just go off. So you have to make sure you have ambitious goals, not just very little goals. And these ambitious goals should reflect on everyday activity you do. I would definitely say this meeting would be added as one of the good activities you did today for achieving your ambitious goals. You might now know how to talk openly to people, not just ask them random questions, how to do a research and then ask them questions, and so on. So all the goals would definitely align, have a overlapping. Okay, obviously there'll be a goal where you want to reach a financial freedom in your life, and whatever I always feel financial freedom is a sub-product of whatever you're trying to achieve in your life, right? Like let's say you build your own company, obviously financial freedom will be there, but you'll be more focused on the company rather than that. If you go working on a very large organization, again the financial freedom comes from the organization, but rather than your work is getting hyper loaded. So end of the day, if you have few goals set for yourself, that's what will make you happy. The life is very short, guys. Like, you might have to set goals for yourself. We don't have any goals, you will have to, because that's what will make your life interesting. That's what will push you somewhere good, push you somewhere in a better place where your parents would be proud of, or anywhere at all would be proud of. So I would like to end the meeting now. Really a huge thank you for Satish Kumar sir to letting me in the meeting and inviting for this role. Thank you everyone. Thank you for all the other participants who have joined us, and I hope you had a good ideation and sessions on this. I hope this data will be useful for you to on your future aspects. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Abhishek. That was
Yeah,
really
thank you, sir.
wonderful session. That's why I say every time you should not miss Abhishek's session. It is very informative as well. Students, those who missed out the session, you will get the recorded session, recorded videos as well in form of YouTube link in your WhatsApp group. So thank you, Abhishek. Thank you for spending your time and giving our students a valuable session. Thank you.
Definitely. Thank you. All the best, guys. Do well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
You, sir.